Welcome to Backyard Family Fun, the podcast from Pride Pools, Spas, and Leisure Products. In Claxton and Savannah, Georgia, celebrating 50 years serving our community, this family-owned business has spent decades helping create memories that last a lifetime. Whether you're a pool owner, a spa lover, or just looking to turn your outdoor space into a true retreat, we've got you covered right here on the Backyard Family Fun podcast. Welcome to Backyard Family Fun, brought to you by Pride Pools, Spas, and Leisure Products. I'm the producer, Dee Daniels, and this is our very first episode. We are on location at one of Pride Pools' locations, which is in Claxton. We also have a location in Savannah that we'll be talking about, but recording here in Claxton today to kick things off as we celebrate 50 years, which is a great thing. And I can't think of a better way to celebrate 50 years and to kick this off than with the family behind Pride Pools. And really, it's such a wonderful family. I'm so excited that you all are going to get to know them. Alex Smith is here. Marshall Smith is here. And in just a little bit, we'll be talking to the man, the myth, the legend, Gary Smith as well, who is the founder of Pride Pools. Alex and Marshall, what a great year to be not only kicking off a show to celebrate, but also just what a great year to be having this moment in time.
I agree.
You know, it's amazing.
It is. And I'll tell you, when our dad, the transitioning time, 99 was the year kind of transitioned to the kids. I'll tell you, that was not my intent, is to get to 50. We were just glad to be there. We were glad to be part of it. And we knew that legacy, we could carry on the legacy. And we knew we would, just because of my dad and the culture that he had built when he started the business. So as we sat there and the three of us talked about it at the time, three of us, of course, we felt like that, hey, I think this is a good thing. And moving forward, it was just, let's do the best we can and do what's right. And long term, it should work out. And here we are. It so far, so good.
When I think about what was going on 50 years ago, when this got going, when your dad got this going, and I think about, we were talking about the price of eggs under $1 in 1975.
How far we've come.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Isn't that crazy to think about? I mean, you think about the things that were going on in the world. You think about, the technology where it was, and the fact that we all wanted to experience something fun like a swimming pool, and
Sure.
figure out how to get a better one or a bigger one or a cooler one,
Sure.
I mean, that's for your dad to be at the beginning of that, when I feel like pools were still quite the status symbol, in the 70s, and they still are today. But I mean, it was such a big deal then. I mean, what an amazing business for you guys to get into early on. Do y'all remember, your dad sort of at when it started, or where were you?
I think I was probably 7 or 8, maybe 8 years old at the time when he got it in the business. And so the memories are, at that age, you tend to try to capture as many as you can and try to reflect on them. But I think I remember the hard work. I remember the long days. I remember the early mornings. I remember my dad. And at 8, you're just seeing it at a distance at that time. But I think overall, I saw I think how he embraced that opportunity to go out and put backyard family fun in people's yards. And so it kind of started at an early onset of understanding that what we were doing, or what he was doing, was creating that escape, I think, for people to enjoy it, for their families to hang out and not have to travel. Those are some of the early memories, I believe, at the time. And so from where we started to where we are today, or where he started and where we are today, we've come a long way. And some of the I would say the aesthetics of maybe what was being created back then,
right,
as to what we are doing now.
Yeah,
that's a good indication of what we're doing now compared to where it was just a rectangle body of water. Now it's free form and its water features, and there's a lot of things that go into creating that space.
It's
But
any shape you can think of.
Absolutely.
now, right?
Pretty
much.
Yeah.
I mean, I was reading on some of the early pools, and I mean, you had concrete going on, right? And then you had things change with that, and then like pretty early on, people were wanting that kidney shape.
Sure.
It went from there where it was like,
It
oh
did.
wait, if we can do that,
Sure.
we can do anything, right?
That's absolutely right. You're correct. Marshall said his age. Well, he didn't say his age.
No, but
I think we
I think everybody
we
would love
stamped
to
our
know your
age by
age.
saying that. so, wait. So
Well,
yeah.
I did give some indication
did.
of an age. They would just have to do the math.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
that's
exactly
true.
right.
That's
true.
So I'm gonna say I was 11, so y'all
Okay.
can figure that out from there.
Okay.
So me and Marshall, being as young as we were at that time, we found out that our dad really had to. It was like 5 kids to feed, and this is cool. No, I think I can do this, and let's give it a try. And sure enough, he did. He was not like the builder, like hands-on carpenter type guy. He was very, when it comes to time management and being efficient at getting something done, is the master of that. And so all he knew, if he was able to assemble these things, he could probably get a pool installed. And interesting thing about it is at that time, we didn't really know. We thought that was the way the industry was supposed to be. But there's a lot of people that would be listening to this that has had pools 30, 40 years ago, and they'll sit right there and tell you that the pool was built in one day. One day. So I'm talking about what was the saying?
Grass growing, water
Water
flowing,
flowing,
in the
okay.
same day.
Oh,
The
yeah,
point
there you
is
go.
they're done in one day. One day. So it's hard to believe that a pool was built like that. But, that was, to us at that time, we thought that was normal. But, yeah, as time went on, the evolution of pools changed. And the basic rectangle has just evolved to the point where so many things are put with it. And, most people don't know what type pool it is when it's in the backyard. So when they're finished with it, you don't know if it's a vinyl,
Yeah.
fiberglass, or what.
So fitting that we are kicking off the show here at the Claxton location. Can you talk a little bit about what it has meant to grow for 50 years in these communities? Now, it all started in Claxton, which is one of the reasons we wanted to kick off the show here in this location. But what a big deal to be a part of these local communities for 50 years.
Yeah, definitely. I think any small community like Claxton, Hagen, and so just as a point of reference, we are physically in Hagen,
Right.
But we do carry a Claxton address, and we're excited about our heritage, and we talk about it. And so, yeah, I mean, you've got places like Glenville, Reedsville, Statesboro, Hinesville, Swainsboro, Hazelhurst. Just the names go on that were those small communities that my dad built pools in back in the 70s and 80s and 90s. And so these communities were small. Of course, we were in Savannah as well.
Yeah.
In Rankin, Springfield, places like that have now grown into bigger, smaller towns than maybe we are. But, yeah, I mean, what a great opportunity to celebrate a business that's unique as we are, and kind of share it with all those communities because we've put it in their communities. We've been able to provide that backyard family fun for all those other places we were just mentioning. So yeah, what a great opportunity.
And it only gets better. You think about local businesses to really stand the test of time over 50 years in a community. And then you guys just recently named Business
But Business of the Year.
Business of the
Yep,
Year. That's right.
Yep.
I mean, in the 50th year.
Neither one of us knew that, and that was very fitting. Our dad actually was there at that night, so he got to see that.
Oh,
and
that's great.
That was pretty cool there, of course. But our intent is really not that. Again, we're here to, provide a service, and we're here to help the customer. And every time we think about that process, we want to do the best we can. We try to provide the best, the best retail information, the best service information, the best construction, and
Product knowledge.
Product
Yeah.
knowledge. And we and we know that we're pretty diversified. A lot of people in the industry that they're in do not do all phases. A lot of people just do service, or maybe just build construction. But we do all three phases of the pool industry. So the retail side of it, of course, the 2 locations you said earlier, and the service department, and of course, construction. We went into it with that, and we've always had that, and we didn't know any other way to do it. So we started off at that level, and we've maintained it, and it's been quite a ride, but we've had fun, and we continue to have fun.
I think it's a testament to our dad to some degree, Dee, is that the fact that to get recognized by the local chamber as Business of the Year, because he always wanted to give back, and he served the community in that role when it came to being, president of the chamber, president or CEO of the IDA, or other organizations in the community. He always wanted to try to participate and give back in that respect. So we've tried to do the same thing and carry that same mantle along the way as well. And so to get the chamber's Business of the Year was quite an award, and gratifying and satisfying all at the same time. And it comes from 50 years of trying to give back, and chips fall where they fall. But we were just fortunate to be, I guess, represented in that capacity.
Yeah. And a great recognition. I mean, seriously, and so deserved. I was thinking about what folks are going to see in this 50th year, right? And it's such a celebratory thing. And you were telling me a little bit ago, Alex, about the scrapbook.
Oh, yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that? Because this is a nostalgic year.
It is. It is.
And so people are going to be able to see some of that, what it looked like then, what it looked like now, when they come in the store.
That's going to be, it's even going to be cool for us to see it. Because back in the 70s, so we're going way back, and we've got images from that too. So scrapbooks have been put together over the years, and you're going to be able to see that if you come into the retail outlet in Savannah and Claxton. We have a then and now that will be rotating through the monitor or the screen, and you'll be able to see some of those images. And somebody might see their pool being built. Who knows?
Right.
So we got a lot of cool things that we're going through, and it's a nostalgia feeling to see that. It's like, I forgot it. They used to work here, or we forgot about that person, and so we've just been blessed and fortunate to have people working with us as long as we have, and so that's we just try to do the right thing. We were never raised any differently, but if you know it's right, you feel it's right, then do it. Say what you mean and mean what you say.
Yeah. Has your message changed over 50 years to the community? Has it gotten different? Is it the same message?
I would suggest that it is the same as it was 50 years ago. I think the industry has evolved to some degree, but I do think that we have evolved with it as well. But when it comes to just the core principles of who you are as a business, none of that's changed. Yeah, we are always going to do what we say what we're going to do, that type of thing. Do what's right, and provide that level of customer service that gives us the satisfaction knowing that they walked out the door happy and have a smile on their face, and they'll be back. And and that's what our goals are: is to happy, satisfied customers, backyard family fun, right?
Yeah, so excited to sort of dig into all kinds of topics on this on this podcast. We're going to be talking about pool readiness. We're going to be talking about pool school that is free that you can come to, customer appreciation week. We're going to be talking about all kinds of really, really cool things. I think, when people look at 50 years, that says so much. One of the biggest things that come to mind, it says success. And what do you think has been at the heart of that success for 50 years?
So Marshall was saying earlier about time and generations is what comes to mind here. So 50 years, we've built pools for second and third generation family.
Yeah.
And, when someone walks in the store and they said, how's your dad doing? and built a pool 35 years ago. So
Yeah.
it's like, wow, okay. And then there may be some where I probably helped build the pool. This is some of the things that you got those same customers coming back into the store and doing business with us, because what our dad started, we continued, meaning that the culture of being part of a company that, again, does the right thing, and treats people decently. And if you do that, people know that that's your true self, and people will come back and do business with you. And that's our goal, is to, if you just try your best to keep the customer satisfied, that will just snowball and carry over. It's a company culture that we, I guess, unintended, but intentionally built over time. And we got people that's been with us 25 years, 20 years, and that, I guess that says something, that we must be doing something that they like.
Yeah, it does. I would say so.
Now, you're talking about associate team members that work for us. Is that what you're saying? Yes. I mean,
Yes,
we've got some customers
that's
that
right.
are 30, 35, 40-year-old customers. And I think, I agree
And
with
older.
Alex, I think the success looks like generational happiness, meaning, if you've got the grandpa, the father, and now the grandson or the granddaughter comes in and they're getting their pool. So now we're into third generation. I think that speaks volumes about who we are, what we are, and I think in embodying family and embodying what it means to do business the right way.
I love that. What a great answer. Did you guys plan that ahead of time? I feel
Well,
like that
we
was
just
so
speak
good.
from the heart. I don't
Yes.
know of any other way to explain things, because
Yeah.
this business, me and Marshall grew up in. You know what I'm saying? So we're at that age that we participated in every facet of this industry. So, and in the company, all the three phases I was mentioned, we've been in all of it. So we just grew up in it. So the summers that we were in school, guess where we were at? We were here. We were out there help build a pool. We were, in the store doing water tests for customers. So we grew up understanding that family and taking care of customers is kind of our core. I mean, that's just how we were raised. So we don't know of any other way to do it.
Well, at this point, it's like the back of your hand,
Yeah.
these things. I mean, this long growing up in it, now having it turned over to you, and you already know, you're already experts in it, I mean, so it's like, I think people come for that. People love that. That says a lot when I want to go to the expert, so it's 50 years. That's expertise.
That's
is
right.
What that is. For
Yeah,
sure.
and I think, talk about generational customers. I think looking for expertise is one thing, but I think the family aspect of it, I think there's a connection there, because now we're family, they're family, and they still have that connection with us. And so, you can, I think 50 years, it says a lot, I think, about just a business, whether it's whatever you do, whether it's being in the pool business, backyard family fun business, or whatever. Anytime that you can have a second and third generation show up at your doorsteps to want to do business with you because they believe in what you do, because they know you're going to do the right thing, I think says it all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really does. And there's such a big team here. You'll be able to meet those team members if you pop in on Pool School or Customer Appreciation Week, and such a big team. And I know we'll be talking to some of them as well, but that makes a big difference. The team, the dedication of the team, that says so much too, I feel like, within the thread of that many years.
Yeah, you're right. And, over the years, having that core of our culture of just basic doing right, but also you got to keep up what changes in the industry too. So you got technology, you got to keep up with the new chemicals out there, the new equipment, what's changing, the variable speed pumps. I mean, kind of getting more technical about things, but you have to keep up with that.
Right.
And we believe in going to school. So we go to pool school ourselves. I mean, we have it for the homeowner, but we also send staff to pool school,
Yeah.
leadership training, and we have to keep up with that new age information, because if we don't, we just kind of get left behind.
Sure.
And we felt like that if, we could have kind of stayed in time, but we felt like that we wouldn't be able to keep up with the second generation and the third generation come about, especially third generation. They'll just run circles around us on the technology. So if we just don't know just a little bit about it, I'm not going to be able to meet their demands when it comes to installing an in-ground pool or something like that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of that changing out there. So, but we believe in education. We believe in training, and the more said earlier, knowledge. The more knowledge that someone has, the more power they have to tell the customer to solve their problems. So we don't maybe have an answer for everything, but we'll find it.
Right. And that's a big deal, because
Yes.
that's a resource, right? And really to be able to have that,
Sure.
that's such a big deal. And I love that you're always talking about that changing with the times and figuring out what's next and the new equipment and the new things, because we're all trying to figure that out all the time. You think about, I was just looking at, back in 1975 when your dad started this, floppy disks were a thing, right? The first video game console had come out. The first personal computer had come out. Star Wars just getting started. Things like that. And so if we were still with the same equipment in that time and the same chemicals and the same, sort of thing, we wouldn't, we wouldn't like it.
That's right. I'm just echoing what Alex said, is that, if you don't stay up with the times, no matter what industry you're in, you're going to get left behind. We saw the need for staying knowledgeable and relevant in our industry by keeping ourselves educated. And so that's massive. And I think keeping up with people's needs and wants, because they tend to see things on the internet these days, and they see things that I like that, and so they come in and they tell us about it, and so we're like, well, you know what, we can do that now. So yeah, for us to be able to evolve with society, so to speak, has been a big deal. So we see the need to keep educated, and it served us well.
I will be the first to find something on Pinterest and take it in and be like, can we do this somehow? I'm sure.
And we get that.
That's right.
We do. We get that. And, but, knowing if it works in this market or if that product is effective for your application.
Right.
But it's our job to know that.
Yeah.
It's our job to explain to you, is it going to work, or we recommend something else similar to that.
Yeah.
So, keeping up with the times is probably the most challenging, because as we live into the internet world, the fast-changing social media that we have to live through, you got to be relevant. And if you don't stay relevant and know what's new and the latest and the greatest of the products, then you will get left behind.
Right. I'm excited that we're going to be taking listener questions all the time for all kinds of things. You're gonna have your backyard family fun expert in your pocket to be able to ask any question you want to ask, and we're going to pass it on. So I thought I'd start off the questions. What's the weirdest thing you've ever found at the bottom of a pool?
Oh, that is an excellent question. I think everybody has their version of weird, but I think for me is that we had to get, when it wasn't, and he wasn't in the bottom. It was a cow, and so we had to get a cow out of a pool. And you can imagine what was left after we got him out eventually. So it was, you have, being in the rural areas that we would serve over the past 50 years, you can imagine we would end up in someone's pasture with a pool.
Oh my goodness.
And it may end up with a cow in the pool. So
right.
I had that experience, a little bit different. I don't know how many episodes, Alex, or issues that he's run into, or weird things. But
I would say that the weird meter there. Yeah, for sure.
So I think I like to think that when you're talking about weirdness, things that aren't supposed to be there.
Yes.
It makes it
That's
weird.
perfect.
So that cow was not supposed to be there.
That's
right.
definitely. I'm hoping the customer called you and said, "Will you move?"
Oh my, that was good.
Good. Absolutely. And we obliged.
I don't know if you could top that. Probably
Well,
not.
no,
Okay.
but animals, that's a good start.
Yeah, yeah.
Deer, had deer in pools, and that's probably, other than finding things that people swim with and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But
Right.
that would probably be the most bizarre. The deer got in the pool, but it got out too.
Oh, good.
So yeah, and but they had it on camera, and it kind of destroyed.
Oh,
Destroyed
my
everything.
goodness, I bet.
Again, living in the rural areas like that, you're going to find, wildlife is going to be, next to the pool, and you can't avoid that. And there's going to be different things that get in there. We don't want to say anything negative about reptiles,
Yes.
but they do find their way.
They
and
find their
they
way.
don't like chlorine,
That's right.
surprisingly. Any
That's
type
right.
of sanitation,
Yeah.
believe it or not, they actually stay out of pools. But we'll talk about that later. But
Yeah.
anyhow, don't be afraid of finding maybe a frog in there.
Yeah, that happens.
It's going to happen.
That happens for sure. Well, before we wrap up, what are you guys most excited about in the 50th year?
I think the fact that we're here, I think we've been able to evolve in an industry that most people, I guess, wouldn't look at as an industry that would evolve, so to speak. A body of water is a body of water. And so we feel like we've been able to embody change in a way that people can appreciate our expertise. And so I'm just excited that we get to celebrate with customers in their second and third generational customers. That's what is exciting to me. And of course, I love what we've always done in the past when we would have customer appreciation and things of that nature, and spinning the wheel. I'm looking forward to that because
No doubt.
customers always enjoy having that. And we'll talk about that too in some future episodes as well, about customer appreciation
Yeah.
and some other things. So yeah, I think embodying family and what it means to bring in customers who have been with you decades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
Yep. So, started back 25 years ago. Every 5 years we'd celebrate or have an anniversary, right? So, and Marshall brought it up too about the spin the wheel. So every 5 years we bring that wheel out, and Customer Appreciation Week, we always have that every year, of course. But going back and thinking about what's, for me, is the nostalgia of going back and looking at the, that was then, this is now, and our dad being here.
Yeah.
That's probably the best part for me, because he has been in it long enough where he understands, and seeing us, him seeing us, and we seeing him at this moment, he's very proud, and that's something that again, we didn't know anything differently. We just what we thought we were supposed to do anyhow, right?
Right.
And we all go to school and get an education, but at the end of the day, we said, you know what? I guess we need to probably stick with the family business. And sometimes it's hard for people to do that.
Yeah.
And having a business is tough enough today. Family business is challenging, but for us, it's been to a point where we've enjoyed it to an extent that we wouldn't still be here. And that's what makes it, for me, for the 50s, is family. And, going back and looking at the stuff back in the 70s and the 80s where you grew up, and having this company part of your family doing that. So that's going to be some nostalgia things. And our dad, I'm sure, remembers a lot of things that he probably got a lot of stories to tell you, but that'd be between you and him.
Well, that's a good lead in because we're going to hear from him coming up next. This is going to be, I think, such a fantastic year for Pride Pools. And I think at the same time, we're going to be able to mark it all down with the stories and the people behind the stories with this podcast that you'll be hearing throughout the year. So this is going to be such a wonderful way to extend the celebration. And we'll be talking to you guys more in depth with other episodes coming up. So thank you. This is going to be a fun podcast.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dee.
have the founder, Gary Smith. It's wonderful to meet you and get to know you. The reason this has become such a legacy for 50 years, I hear, is all your fault.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I'm sorry about that.
And recently named the best business in Claxton and so many wonderful things. 50 years. I mean, can you believe it when you look back that it's been that long?
This no, it just went by real quick. I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah. Tell us how it all started.
Well, I just had some friends that doing the business like that, and we went and visited with those people, and up in Carolina, and we came back home, and I got to thinking that, well, golly, I think we could do something like that down here. I walked in the bank down there one day, and I said, I'm fixing to get in the pool business. And so I did. Of course, a friend of mine was president of the bank, and so we had friends in Carolina that egged me on and gave me a little direction. And we wound up the largest pool company in 5 states.
Isn't that amazing?
So, got excited about it, and we got enjoying what we were doing, and we just felt so happy that we were making so many people happy.
Yeah.
And so we was at one time we was putting in a pool every day.
Oh, wow.
And so that worked out pretty good, and this has been going on. We've been fortunate to still around, and my family is involved in the company, and they're doing a great job, and they helped expand the company in the retail business. And so it makes me happy all about that.
The fact that you've made this such a family business, and it really has been ingrained in the community. You have legacy community members who've had pools with you for years and years, I'm imagining, since the beginning, and then their kids get a pool, and then...
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, we're happy about that, and we worked hard at it, and of course we as we got doing this, I make sure that we are doing the best we could do. And then, of course, now we go back and have service in the pool, too. We have a team to do that. I feel so good about the whole thing.
Yeah. I'm thinking about, what was the pool industry like? I mean, you're talking about 50 years ago, in 1975. Do you remember the first few pools that you put in? Do you remember, were they above ground pools, or what was it like, those first ones?
The very first ones, I was in ground.
Okay. Do you remember, was it a hard sell to get somebody to get a pool in those early years, or were people coming to you knowing that you did it and said, hey, I want a pool?
In the beginning, of course, I put a pool in out of town, the first 2 or 3, I think, over in Cobbtown.
Okay.
It's about 40 miles away, 35 miles away. And it just so happened, when it do, they come and found out we were doing a pool and advertising in the morning news.
Yeah.
And if I was going to do it, I was going to go and do it.
Yeah.
And so, and it turned out like that. And I think we wound up about the largest pool builder in this area. Anyway.
That's right.
So it worked out pretty good.
I feel like over, the last few months when we've been talking about putting this show together for Pride Pools, everybody knows the name. Everybody.
It does.
Isn't that just exactly what you want as a
Yes.
local business owner?
Yes.
Everybody knows the name.
Everywhere we go, we put in a lot of pools. Kept on going. I don't know how many we've built now. It's been
Can't keep track of it now.
Yeah, it's gone. The companies, my family, thank goodness, I worked them so hard, but they still stayed with it. And I thought, golly, y'all are tough, so go ahead. And
right.
And sure enough, the last number of years, they have took over, and for a number of years ago, and just took over and done a good job, and I'm proud of them.
Yeah, as you should be, no doubt. And everyone that works here is so dedicated to what the mission is, to the local aspect, to working with local vendors and other people that are a part of the team. The team has grown so much over 50 years.
Yes,
You've got to be so proud of that, too.
Oh, I am. There's no way in the world I could draw out a compass to do it any better. they still at it, and that's a good thing. This has been 50 years, and golly, they still there. And they was right in the middle of digging a hole, and in the beginning, and right involved with everything that was going on.
Yeah.
And all three of them, they stepped in and kept on. See, they're still going.
That's right.
And this is so many years ago.
That's right. That's right. It's amazing to watch how the desire for a pool has only gotten bigger in the world over this 50 years, I would imagine. I mean, everybody wants a pool now.
Yes, absolutely. We hope so anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. That's so we try to do as better job as we could do. We pride ourselves in doing what we doing and go back and fix whatever wasn't fixed. And we never hesitated a second. We always had a team to go out for service or whatever had to be done. And so we continue doing that, and I think that's kept the reason we've been successful as have been, because we've done what we did and did it with assurance that we would take care of it.
Right. Quality. That's what that is, right?
Absolutely.
That's
Yes,
all
ma'am.
about quality. Now, I know our listeners would be very interested, the fact that you've been in the pool business for 50 years. Do you like to swim?
Oh, I do love to swim. I do. And that's the reason I like this.
I love it. Well, now along with pools, you're doing spas and all the products that's needed with any of that. So anybody that walks in the door, they can come and get anything they need from start to finish. Absolutely.
Yeah, we had a spa manufacturing company here in town, and that I put in there for some years ago, and that worked out good, and everything been going good, and of course they've taken care of it ever since. So it's been a absolute pleasure.
Do you see it going another 50 years?
I hope so.
That's right.
I hope they got some offsprings that's stepping up. And
the legacy will continue. I'm sure of that.
Yes,
and you've done such a great job.
Well,
and everyone is just so proud to work under you and with you and all of those things.
That makes me feel real good, and I've always believed to do the very best you can do, and if you hadn't done the best, to go back and work it again. And so that to me is just absolute. And if you're gonna do it right. And my dad was always like that. When he was a farmer, and I lived on the farm. When I plowed that field, I better plow it right.
That's right.
And if it was, I would be in deep trouble. And so I learned that way back from a 10 or 12-year-old boy. And so my dad told me to do it good or don't do it at all.
Right.
And I've tried it. And I have, I hope, instilled that in my family.
Yeah, well, I would say 50 years, you've done it right.
Well, we as proud as I can be. I'm not boasting about anything, just proud.
Well, Gary, thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
We're excited to be doing this show, and I know the community's excited to hear all these stories. Let the celebrations continue. The team at Pride Pools is excited to give you a huge anniversary special. Actually, 3 of them. To celebrate 50 years all year long, you can get up to $10,000 in savings on 3 anniversary fiberglass pools. There are 3 sizes to choose from: the backyard size, the family size, and the fun size. How cool is that? So stop by the Claxton or Savannah locations of Pride Pools or go to pridepools.com for more information. And as a crazy awesome deal for our Backyard Family Fun podcast fans, you get 10% off anything inside either location in Claxton and Savannah, excluding pools, hot tubs, or saunas when you mention the podcast. That's all you have to do. Go and visit the Claxton or Savannah Pride Pools, mention the podcast, and get 10% off. Now that's a reason to celebrate. Thanks for listening. Come by and meet your local pool and spa experts in Claxton on Highway 280 West or in Savannah on Gateway Boulevard South, or go to pridepools.com. If you love backyard family fun as much as we do, be sure to give us a rating and review and subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. And if you have a question or topic you'd love for us to cover, drop us an email, info@pridepools.com, or tap the links for Facebook or Instagram in the show notes of this episode. We'd love to hear from you. Now let's go make a splash and have some backyard family fun.
Pride Pools.